Hello everyone, this is Anime Junior here, and I'm going to bring you my first official what if, and that is, what if Shoto Todoroki was the Arkham Knight? We all know his backstory, and so, one son of Endeavor's evil, so the other one is too. I hope you all enjoy this what if, and let's begin. Our story takes place when Shoto's just a child. Rei has just been sent to the hospital and Toya has died. Endeavor is constantly using Shoto, making him use his fire against his own free will. Until one day, Shoto just snaps and has enough. And one night when Endeavor's on patrol, he runs away. He just keeps running until he goes into a dark alley. He passes out. But then after a few minutes, he wakes up and someone's above him. And that man is the hero killer, Stain. And so, at first Shoto would be afraid, but then Stain would ask him, why is he there alone? Where is his parents? Then Shoto would tell him everything about who his parents is and what happened to him. And after hearing his story, Stain is just disgusted with Endeavor. He knew he was a false hero, but he didn't think Endeavor was this corrupt. So, Stain and Shoto would go away. Stain would tell his ideals to Shoto and what he believes in. That there are no more true heroes in this world. It's all just full of false heroes with ambitions and foolish goals. Now Shoto, after living through a false hero, being raised by one, he agrees with Stain in every way. And so, he would train with Stain, then building a big brother-little brother relationship. And for the next 8 years since Shoto was 6, they would train in all sorts of killing techniques. Shoto would focus more on using guns, using them to harness the power of both his fire and ice quirk, making ice and fire bullets. During this time, Endeavor at first is furious to think Shoto ran away. But then, slowly, he starts to regret everything he's ever done to Shoto. He doesn't become his Season 4 self, he just decides he'll surpass All Might himself. He feels a little regret, but just not as much. Natsuo changes completely. Now he wants nothing to do with Endeavor. He blames him for everything. He hates him more than anything else in the world. Fayumi, she starts doubting everything. She thinks they might never have a real family again. Toya's gone and Shoto has abandoned them. For all she knows, he could be dead. Rei, after hearing what happened to Shoto, her mind just flows with more and more dread and depression. She just doesn't know what to think anymore. To the point where she's even contemplating herself, should she even forgive Endeavor for everything he's done? Last is Dabi, still in the shadows, who hasn't revealed himself. After seeing the news of Shoto disappearing, he starts thinking maybe he should go out and look for Shoto himself, take him hostage and kill him to make Endeavor suffer. Now around the time the anime would start, Shoto is fully trained in all sorts of killing techniques, and now it's time for him to act out his plans of vengeance on Endeavor. He first targets Endeavor's agency, killing a bunch of small-time workers there, sniping them, making quick hits and runs, and just leaves a note in blood every time saying, Endeavor, I'm coming for you. Endeavor would pay attention to these little notes, but he wouldn't care about them too much. Until the UA entrance exam, everything would go into as canon, but since Shoto's not there, Shoto won't be in Class A. Now, as far as Class A and Deku, everything there would go into canon, except Todoroki's not there. The USJ would go into canon, all that would be the same. The UA Sports Festival would be the same as well, except this time, the final battle's between Deku and Bakugo. Now, in this fight, Bakugo would still come out on top because Deku just doesn't have the confidence enough to beat him. But now to the Hero Killer arc. When Stain is in Hosu, he would go and attack, what was his name again? Native. He would go and Deku would try to stop him, but this time, since there's no Todoroki, Native would be killed alongside Ida, but Deku would be allowed to live. They would have a funeral for both of them, and Deku, he would feel strange thinking that it's his fault for Ida's death. Now Shoto at this time has still killed more of Endeavor's little sidekicks, but he's also joined the League of Villains, still going by the name of the Arkham Knight, not revealing who he is just yet to them. After a couple weeks, Shoto would go to Stain and talk with him, and Stain would join the League of Villains, a full-time member. Another thing to point out is, Shoto has revealed his identity to All For One, and All For One is astounded to think the number 2 hero's son has murdered so many people. Shoto, as the Arkham Knight, has killed 15 pro heroes, injured 20, and he's killed 5 civilians. After that, things would go into canon until the point where All Might faces All For One. And so the fight would be the same, everything would go down just as it did, except this time Shoto and Stain are there, and they get taken out pretty easily as well. Then All For One makes the portals and sends both Stain, Shoto, and the rest of the villains away. And so, they're all remaining in the shadows for now. This is when Season 4 would come around, the overall arc. Things would go into canon as well when it came to all that, except Shoto's just there. Now after Overhaul's been defeated, and the truck is intercepted, Shoto is with them, and he shoots Overhaul in the head. 'Cause of everything, he remembers his childhood, and he knows what Overhaul did to Eri. So Overhaul's dead. And now where things start to take a little bit of a change is, Stain the Hero Killer, he actually gets to know Dabi. He asks him who he is, exactly. Now, Dabi at first doesn't want to reveal himself just yet, but he remembers he joined the League of Villains because of this man here. So Dabi would tell Stain to keep his secret that he is Toya Todoroki, and that the reason why he's doing it is because of his father. Stain would be thrilled, and then he would tell this to Shoto in a secret meeting place of theirs. Shoto's shocked to hear that his elder brother's alive, and he thinks it's time that he reveals himself. Both Dabi and Shoto, as the Arkham Knight, would come, and then Shoto would take off his mask and reveal himself to Dabi. They would have a little quick conversation about what they want. Stain there also patches things up with them, telling them that their father's the problem, not one another, since he knows Dabi wanted to kill Shoto. So both brothers reconcile with each other and have a newfound goal, and that is to kill Endeavor and destroy everything he's worked for, since they now know he's the #1 hero. As for UA, things are still gonna stay as they were in canon, just with Todoroki not there. Then we get into the Gigantomachia saga of trying to bring him down. Now both Shoto and Dabi would be a little bit more, more in sync with each other, using both flames of theirs to try to wear down Gigantomachia, but it would do absolutely nothing. So then after a while, they would get the call from Reed Destro, and then things would play out exactly as in canon, with the Paraliberation Front, the villain army. That's still gonna happen, just as in canon, just with Shoto there and Stain there. But unannounced to anyone, Shoto has already been building his forces. He has his own army, he has drones, he has everything. He's preparing for a full war, way before any of them already had plans for it. And that is going to be part 1 to What If Shoto Was the Arkham Knight. I know this was a little short and I covered a lot of parts, but I'll be more detailed in the next one. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time.